Hi, fourth grade. I am not here today, but you are going to start working on your final project for this trimester. We are actually going to be looking at an entire packet to do a book review on destiny. So this is combining the use of information and technology ethically and responsibly, because you'll be writing about a book you have read, so that's the information, on technology, destiny, and you have to do that ethically and responsibly in order to really show that you met that standard. What we're going to do today is go over this packet, so everyone will need this packet to look at, and we're going to do the first book review together, and by that I mean we're going to look at an example. Then today you're actually going to look at examples in small groups, and that will finish us up for today. Next week we'll have you look at one independently and then probably start writing. So once everyone has these, please follow along. At the top it says book review on destiny, and then our standard, student can demonstrate the use of information and technology ethically and responsibly. The next part I would normally ask one of you to read, but I don't want to start talking over. So if you could pause this video while someone reads this first section all the way down to the last bullet point, that would be great. Excellent. So basically that tells us exactly what a professional book review has to include. We should see a short descriptive summary that hooks the reader. That would mean catches their interest, makes them want to continue reading. We should see additional contextual information. That's going to be any other information about the book or the author, like how it's written, why it was written, connections to other texts, like if it's in a series or other books the author wrote that people may have really enjoyed. We should finally see a recommendation, and that's an opinion, but it's stated as a fact. So we'll look at that. Now, if someone could read this paragraph, pause me until that person is done, please. Excellent, thanks. So we do want to look at one together. If you could flip through your packets until you find the one on Diary of a Wimpy Kid, this is the one we're going to look at together. All right, all of the information on the top, Destiny will do for you. It's the basic book information, the title, the author. It gives an age range that the author intended or the publisher intended, and the facts about when it came out and who made it. I'm going to ask that first we just read together, and then I'm going to give you more specific things to focus on. So if we all follow along, this professional book review says, first volume of a planned 3, this edited version of an ongoing online serial records a middle school every kid's triumphs and, more often, tribulations through the course of a school year. Largely through his own faults, mishaps seem to plague Greg at every turn. From the minor freakouts to finding himself permanently seated in between two peer stoners and then being saddled with his mom for a substitute teacher, to being forced to wrestle in gym with a weird classmate who has invited him to view his secret freckle. Presented in a mix of legible hand-lettered texts and lots of simple cartoon illustrations with the punchlines often in dialogue balloons, Greg's escapades, unwavering self-interest, and sardonic commentary are a hoot and a half, certain to elicit both gales of giggles and winces of sympathy, not to mention recognition, from young readers. Fiction 9 to 11. That was the whole thing. Notice it's a lot shorter than a book review you might write in class. It's only one paragraph. Yours should also be only one paragraph, because we are writing professional book reviews to put on Destiny, not classroom book reviews, like not an essay. the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is actually find the first tidbit, the first requirement that a professional book review includes, which is the short descriptive summary that hooks the reader. I would like for you to just underline where you think that is happening in this book review. And if you could, pause me, please, and let's take about 2 minutes to do that. Just underline everything you think is the summary. Excellent. I'm sure that you have all underlined from the first volume of A Planned 3, which means there were only supposed to be 3 books in this series, all the way down to Secret Freckle. If you underlined all that, that is all summary. It's supposed to be short. How many sentences is that? If I look, just for the period to end a sentence, 1, 2. It's only 2 sentences long. On the front of my packet, I actually wrote 1 to 2 sentences. My short summary might be 1 to 2 sentences. Maybe it's going to be 3 if I have shorter sentences, but it really does need to be short and descriptive. The next thing we're looking for is the additional contextual information. I would like for you to underline this with a wavy underline, anything that's kind of bumpy. And you're going to not underline something that already was underlined. So if you underlined all the way down to Secret Freckle, all of that first part is the short summary. So now, while you are looking for the additional contextual information, anything about how the book was written, why it was written, books in the series, anything like that, that's going to be underlined with a wavy line. So pause me while you take a minute to find the contextual information. Great. So I'm sure that you all underlined from presented in a mix of legible hand-lettered text and lots of simple cartoon illustrations with dialogue balloons. I actually only did the first half of that sentence. The next half doesn't sound like it's talking about how the book was made or why it was made. It sounds like it's gotten into the last bit of what's required in a professional book review, which is actually the recommendation. So this time I want you to use a dotted underline and find the rest of the review, which has to be the recommendation. I'm not going to make you pause me because you're all going to do this very quickly. It has to be the rest of the paragraph, right? So Greg's escapades, unwavering self-interest, and sardonic commentary, this kind of review is actually making a recommendation because it's telling me it's a hoot and a half. His escapades, those are like crazy adventures. His unwavering self-interest, that means he's so full of himself. And it all the way down to fiction, 9/11, that's all part of the recommendation. Who would like it? Anyone who likes to laugh, anyone who can wince with sympathy, they would all enjoy this book. That's it. 1 paragraph, 3 parts. You're going to pick one of the books that you put on your have read shelf in Destiny, and you're going to do this eventually. But today, in groups, the people at your table, you're going to do the same thing with the same underlines. For Wanted, The Haunted Mask, which is a Goosebumps book, and for I Survived Hurricane Katrina, which is an I Survived book. And as you go through these 2 together as a team, you're going to underline the short summary, you're going to wavy underline the contextual information, and you're going to dotted underline the recommendation for both Wanted, The Haunted Mask, and the I Survived Hurricane Katrina. So 2 in your group, then you may do book checkout. If there's time, Mrs. Keegan's going to ask that you share out which parts were which for at least one of these. But right now I want you to focus on Wanted and I Survived. Good luck, have a great day, and yes, you will do book checkout at the last 10 minutes. Thanks.